Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Krantz. Welcome back to Krantz Rants. First off, I want to start off by thanking you all for your continued support and by subscribing, liking, and sharing my videos. I do want to apologize for the inconvenience while I was doing the separation of story time with Krantz Rants. I have made a separate page. I do apologize. If you are coming looking for story time, I have put the link below so that you can get to the new page. I just didn't want to have kids coming on and expecting to hear a story and then start getting my Krantz Rants views or videos or anything like that. So I just did that more of a parental guidance type of thing. Anywho, thank you guys for coming back. Today I want to actually talk, or I want to start talking a little bit more about like my thoughts, my understandings, my views on different stuff. I never really know what I'm going to talk about till I get here, and I'm going through this whole changing process, maybe a personal rebuild if you want. I've just been doing a lot of time thinking, a lot of researching, and hopefully you guys will come along and go through these changes with me, and let's see what happens. All right, so today I want to actually talk about something I deal with myself. I see a lot of posts about it on social media, friends going through things. And so I want to actually talk about anxiety and depression. Very real. I've actually gone through it my whole life. I am a self professed egomaniac with an inferiority complex. So I will tell you that, hey, everything's awesome, things are wonderful. But then on the inside, I'm kind of asking myself, is this real? Do they really give a damn what I say? Do they really like what I'm about, or any of that stuff? It's just, and it affects all aspects of my life. After over these last few months, it's been kind of tough. I've gone through, I don't know if you want to call it a transformation or a breakdown, or just I was, if you asked me a couple months ago how things were, I would have been like, everything's awesome, things are going good. I have the perfect job. I'm, part of a company that is going places, that I'm becoming part of this family, and I was like on top of the world, and my future was mapped out. This is how things are going to be. And when I was out actually at work or whatever, or if I was around the other people that I was working with, things were awesome. I felt great, but then I'd leave and I'd come home, and I come home and I'm by myself and I'm in my head, and and I honestly I question everything. I'm not used to, or I've never been used to having like good things happen. It is always expecting one thing and arriving at another, and a lot of it was in my own head. I wouldn't allow myself to achieve that next level, or I was afraid of success. I didn't know what to do with success. And through this whole period, I'm like, I get up and I didn't want to get out of bed. I mean, and it all started because I started having some physical issues again, some health issues. And so then I'd come home from work, and I sit around, and I'm just so uncomfortable that, I don't do anything, and I sit there moping. And of course, as soon as you start getting down, on yourself. And I am my own worst enemy, and so I started going online, and I started looking for what's going on. Am I only one that thinks like this? And that's kind of why I do these videos. Yeah, these videos to me, they're kind of therapeutic. You know, I can come on here and I can talk about the things I'm going through or what I feel, and hopefully one of you guys will, maybe share a comment, give me your experience, and I think that's part of all of us growing together is to share our experience, strengths, and hope with each other, and kind of give each other a little bit of push or a nudge, and you know, see what we can't do to try to make this a better place. And we can make this world a better place by becoming the best that we can personally be, and that's something that I want to do now. After this whole breakdown, I realized, I kind of throw out hints to people or try to tell a few people what's going on, and they weren't really grasping what I was trying to say, and so then of course I would get on myself, and it's always been what's wrong with me, and I mean that's just been everything in my life that's ever happened is it's automatically my fault because when things go wrong in my life, it was usually from something I did, or at least that's what I was told. You know, I learned at a young age that, no matter what I did, I was going to end up, you know, being in trouble anyway because it was going to turn out that it was me. I mean, or I was fooling around and it was just a misunderstanding. I mean, one of the earlier examples I can remember is, I was um, in going to school. I was probably in like seventh grade or something, sixth or seventh grade, and I was in science class and we were doing biology, and you know, I've always kind of struggled in school, and I think a lot of it was because I either got lost or I just didn't quite understand, and this is one of the times I actually was wanting to try, and um, so we were talking about the whole internal organs and the biology of humans or whatever. We're getting ready to dissect fetal pigs, and I remember my teacher was giving us our vocabulary words, and one of the words was actually diaphragm, and today I know it has more than one meaning, but I was legitimately asking, what was a diaphragm when I was trying to write down the information on the words, and right away it was taken that I was just being a smart ass and trying to cause disruption, and that wasn't the case. But already, it was thought that that's what I meant, and it was already determined that I was just being a wise ass, and that's how it went. And I've had situations like that my whole life. I remember it was after one of my birthdays. I was like, I think it was my 21st birthday, and I was out with a friend of mine, and we had gone to, we were like great friends our whole lives, and me and her never really had anything other than a great friendship, but we used to hang out all the time. And this day we went to a playground, and we were just talking and sitting on the swings and playing on the slide, and just having fun. Well, on the way home we were going past my grandparents' house, and I figured I wanted to just stop and say hi. And well, I had some dirt on my knee from playing in the playground, and stone cold sober, had nothing to drink, had done no other substances or nothing, and so stopped to say hi. And my aunt actually freaked out on me, telling me that how dare I show up at my grandparents' house all messed up, and I tried saying that I'm not, and of course it wasn't believed because I was wrong, and it was me, and I was doing the bad thing, and that wasn't the case. And I didn't really think about it, but over all these years, that has actually affected me. I thought about that lately, and what was the point of me trying to do the right thing or say the truth or even try to succeed, because all of a sudden I knew I was going to be wrong and that it wasn't going to be right, and it would be my own fault. And so that's one of these stigmatisms that I kind of had my whole life, that I already knew the outcome. I wasn't going to succeed, and to kind of shield myself from the failures or the pain of not succeeding, or knowing that it's my fault. I wouldn't allow myself to succeed. I wouldn't allow myself to advance. I wouldn't allow myself to, uh, have the joys of actually accomplishing something and reaching for greatness, because in my mind I was never going to make it, and so what was the point? And so I don't know, and this is just some of the stuff I've been thinking about lately. So, anyways, over this last few months, with this perfect job and my awesome future and these wonderful people, and so as I'm going through this breakdown and I'm sitting at home and I'm hurting physically and mentally, and I kind of put out these feelers, and I'm kind of reaching out for help, and I even kind of told one of the things that goes on. I've talked to people about, I'm hurting. I mean, I'm a sensitive, emotional person. I may not appear it, but I take things to heart, and it just didn't. They just didn't catch on, and I couldn't spell it out any clearer, and so the worst part is, I honestly, you can get another job. I'm not worried about the job, but the part that kills me is that these people that I thought were becoming my friends, I mean, not one of them talks to me today, and I've sent messages, I've tried communicating, and it's nothing. So yes, maybe I know there's things on my part that could have been handled differently. I was not in a safe space or in a great space. Didn't really know how to communicate without it becoming an argument. I don't know if you guys do this, but this is another thing. Every time I have a situation where if I have to have this conversation or talk about something that makes me uncomfortable, showing my vulnerabilities, that it I have a hard time expressing, and so sometimes I don't, and I kind of I prepare for the worst possible scenario. I have these conversations and I go through these situations in my head 1,000 times before I ever actually get to that moment. And usually when I get to that moment, it turns out to be something completely different than I even prepared for. But that's one of the things. I mean, I've always prepared myself for the worst possible outcome, because that way, if it comes out that way, I think I'm prepared. And if it doesn't work out like that, then I'm that much happier because it didn't happen. So I've been, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research online. I've been looking towards some mentors who have gone through struggles in life and have emerged on the other side. And so like I said, these videos for me, they're kind of therapeutic. It makes me get my thoughts or actions or try to complete the process, and then I can actually put it up, post it, share it. You guys can give me comments. But honestly, making a video like this is a lot like going through my everyday life. As I'm sitting here recording, like even doing the stories, I'll sit there and I'll end up doing a part, over and over and over again, just because I don't think that it's good, or I don't think people are going to like it. And usually I'll end up, once I finally say forget about it and I get it done and I just push it out there and I muscle through it, usually I get a pretty good outcome. I'm getting a little bit of feedback from people. I'm getting some support from people, and I definitely appreciate that. It does make me feel good. But I honestly, I would like some more comments from people. Tell me what you think. Give me some criticisms. I know, even like in my real world living, when you give me criticism, I'm going to hear it. It's going to bother me. I'm going to stew on it. But I will actually take it and I'll process it. And it may not be right that moment, but it's going to end up making a difference in me, one of the way or the other, throughout this whole process. So please take the moment to, communicate with me, whether it be on what book you want me to read on the story time, or if you want to give me opinions on here. Tell me if you just think I'm crazy and that nobody thinks like me, and then I'll be back to where I was my whole life. But or tell me, yeah, I have thoughts like that, or you have a conversation with somebody for an hour before you ever even see him, and tell yourself this is how it's going to be, and then you realize it's nothing like that. So maybe just tell me some of your experiences or whatnot. Another thing I'm recently doing is I'm working on this other venture of learning how to deal with people and learning how to deal with myself and stop being so critical of myself. I mean, I've been watching some very informative people on YouTube and whatnot, and there's this one lady, Breen Brown, and you can find her on YouTube. She also just had a Netflix special. You check her out. Phenomenal story. She talks about all kinds of stuff from vulnerabilities and shows you, the spectrum of what you're feeling and what the result is. It's just, she's a very powerful woman. So if you got a minute, check her out. Other than that, I'm going to keep pushing forward. Keep doing this. Try to get some more videos out to you guys. Again, please share your comments. Make sure you take a minute to subscribe, like, and share. Help me out. Help me make this thing work. Let me share some experiences with each other, and let's all try to become better people together. But in the meantime, thank you guys for coming back for another Krantz Rants. I will be doing another video here real soon. If you want to check out the stories, remember I said I did put a link in the bottom here so that you can get over to the Storytime page. But other than that, peace and love. Take it easy, guys. We'll talk to you soon.